Okay guys, for this assignment I want you to make up a bucket list science exploration. So this is an assignment that can be repeated. You can do this one more than once because there's definitely, a bucket list is something you can definitely add more than one item to. So what is a bucket list? A bucket list is a to-do list of things that you really want to do at some point in your lifetime. For example, for me, I've always wanted to go to Japan. So that's something at some point in my life I want to make sure to do that. That's on my bucket list. So it's not just a to-do list, it's like the big time, I want to get this done at some point in my life, so I'm going to make it happen type of list. So that's the bucket list. So a bucket list of science exploration, I want you to think about this. One of the greatest benefits of being a scientist is that you might be able to go on great adventures. If you think about the jobs that scientists are doing, a lot of those jobs take you to all over different parts of the earth, into outer space, undersea. So scientists get access to a lot of really cool places, and one of the great advantages to being a scientist is that if you want to go on big adventures, you definitely can. So with this assignment, what I want you to do is come up with an exciting adventure that you could go on as a scientist. Imagine you could go anywhere. You could go to outer space, you could go to the Earth's molten core, you could even travel in time. When you think of that adventure, I want you to answer the following questions. Where would you go? What would you see and do? What scientific research would you be doing? What kind of questions would you be trying to answer? And then what I want you to do is paste some pictures or draw pictures about what it would look like when you go. So with this, what I have in mind is that I want you guys to kind of think of the type of adventures that you would want to go on, and then do a little research and see what the pictures look like and look at what kind of things scientists are doing in those areas. So you're not just doing an adventure, you're doing a scientific adventure. Think about too, like some of the movies that we've seen. And if you want to think about the ideas of what kind of adventures scientists go on, I was thinking of movies that are about scientific adventures, and I came up with Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. Those would all be 3 great movies to watch if your parents are okay with it while you have all this extra time right now. And those are all movies about what kind of adventures scientists go on. So for me, I did an example. The question, where would you go? I said, I would go scuba diving underneath the Arctic ice layer. So up in the very north part of the world where it's not land, but it's a huge ocean, but it's frozen solid. I would want to go scuba diving underneath that ice and see what the water looks like underneath that huge sheet of ice at the northern part of our world. What would you see and do? I would be scuba diving, which is when you swim with an oxygen tank. So when you scuba dive, you get all that gear and you put an oxygen tank you put a mask over your mouth and you have an oxygen tank on your back so you can breathe underwater. So it's swimming, but you get to stay underneath the water the whole time. So I'd be scuba diving very far beneath the surface of the ice in extremely cold water. What scientific research would you be doing? What kind of questions would you be trying to answer? The research I was thinking of is I would be trying to find out what the ice is like underneath, way down underneath the surface like that. I would be trying to find out what kind of organisms live there, and I'd also be testing underwater robotics. So on the next step, it says paste or draw some pictures about what that would look like. So when you open this assignment, when you scroll down in the document, you'll see a couple of pictures of people who have actually gone on this adventure, and there's also a YouTube link that shows people in action scuba diving under the Arctic ice layers. So use your imagination, use your curiosity, think about what kind of scientific questions you would want to solve, but also think about what kind of places would be really cool to go, what kind of places would be awesome to see, and don't let the realities of our lives limit us. Think you can travel in time, space, you can go places that you ordinarily would never be able to go, and imagine and create for yourself an exploration, a scientific adventure. This assignment can be repeated, so by the end of the school year, maybe you'll have 3 or 4 different places that you would love to go as a scientist.